Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. And welcome to the Glassman's World. I'm Dan the Glassman, and we are getting ready to get started making some very last minute Christmas gifts to see what we can accomplish and get out in time, get into people's hands so they can get them wrapped up and under the tree this Sunday. So we only got a few days left, guys. What, 2 days, I guess, until Christmas? Oh my God, 2 more days left until Christmas. That is crazy. I hope you guys have gotten all of your Christmas shopping done and everything that you need to do. And yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's crunch time, right? Like last minute, got to get what you can get done. So we're going to get started here. Let me see if I can, I don't know if this angles up any better. I guess that's as best as we got there. All right. Well, I got me a nice little Santa hat on today, and we're going to get started here. Here, I'll just bring myself down a little bit, and that way you guys can see what's going on. All right. So let's get this torch going here. Too bad we don't have any hot cocoa. I should have made myself some hot cocoa for this. All right, so in all seriousness, we can't get the day started until we check out my shirt, right? Keeping it jolly AF, right? Keeping it jolly and festive. Keeping it jolly and festive. All right. So we're gonna get started here, guys, and we'll bring this torch down just a little bit. All right. So, also, first things first, we need some Christmas music. I believe that'll change everything. Make sure we have some nice music going here. That should work. So this is a non-copyright video, so I should be allowed to use it. Should be allowed to listen to this Christmas music here. Yeah, let's bust out the glass. There we go. All right. There, we'll keep that one a little wet. We'll just keep that one. Alright, so we got some Christmas music going. With the eyes all aglow, we'll find the heart they know that time on its way. He's loaded lots of cars and puddings on his sleigh. And every mother's child is going to smile. He's great kids, really know how to fly. Lip syncing. I'm way off. Okay. Experiencing interruption? Yeah, what's going on? What? Really? They put an ad in there? No wonder why it's free, non-copyright. They're messing up the vibe. Alright. So how you guys doing? We're about to get started here. I believe the live chat's on in YouTube. We're at the Glassman's World live on YouTube and also at Facebook. Okay, so today we got to finish up a couple of these. So we're gonna get started with these here. I got some color all ready to go. Although it's been bad, many times, many ways. Just gotta pull some of this color out, get it all prepared. Should we do some Christmas caroling this morning? I don't know if I know too many songs.
You know, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. Then Everett for Rudolph joined in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas, dear Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh?
All this chalkiness is gonna mess up our Christmas caroling.
As they shop on the dog with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer,
Oh yeah, this computer's gonna have some issues, huh? Some Blue Christmas, some Elvis. Well, maybe the breaking it up will help with any copyright infringement.
Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree. Won't be the same. You You'll be doing all right with your Christmas.
I don't know how Elvis Christmas can't be a non-copyright song. But it's in the non-copyright song playlist. I'm like, but this is Elvis. How could this be a non-copyright? So, I don't know. I can put the link in the video description below. And if YouTube has any issues with it, I can be like, well, it said non-copyright. It's up on your guys' platform. It's non-copyright.
Just thinking you'll be doing all right.
Actually, it says instrumental. I'm like, this is an instrumental. They're singing and everything. But we're just gonna have fun. Listen to some Christmas music today. And maybe with all the breaks and all the cuts in the music, maybe that'll help it from having a copyright strike. Alright, so we're getting the purple ready here, guys. The purple or the plum. And you know what? I want to actually
not just 1 hour delivery.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
This is help
We
with the
got
holidays.
commercials and everything.
Right,
You can't have commercials.
Walgreens.
Walgreens. Wow. We get our prescriptions at Walgreens. Well, I don't, but my wife does. I'm not on any prescriptions. I don't do drugs. Drugs are bad, kids, okay?
She is beautiful like the springs
Oh
of
my God.
Engedi, or the hills of Megiddo in the spring.
Stop. We're going to keep on playing stupid commercials. We're going to find some better music here, guys. Give me a second. I just didn't want to lose the heat here. We're so close to finishing up this stretch here. Just trying to pick out those thin spots. All right, there we go. You can see. Better on the red right there, then you can see it. All right. Let's find some better music. Okay, because this ain't cutting it. I'm like, what's going on? That's horrible. Uh-oh. This thing's not going to hold in place, huh? Well, that's the best you guys got right there. Okay, let's find a better one. I thought that was instrumental. 12 hours of Christmas music, traditional. Oh, it says traditional. Where's the instrumental? I thought I put instrumental. Huh. Hold on, I just saw something. No copyright Christmas music, AI music generator. What? Sound drop. You can create your own Christmas music, huh? Okay. There we go. Non-copyright music. I don't know what this video is though. Huh. Alright, well, liven it up a little bit. How about that? Alright, guys. Merry Christmas. Let's get started here. Well, we've already gotten started. We'll move these over. I'm going to do those right now. We'll move that around. Hey, what is this? Cobalt. I was stretching the wrong one. We don't even need that one. We need this one. Okay, let's do that all over again. We gotta stretch these out anyways. Get them ready. And we're gonna be working on this one right here. So I think we got a couple people watching over here on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Got some Christmas music going. Little holiday festivity. I don't know if it's too loud. Let me know if it's too loud or not. Is it overwhelming? Can you hear me okay over the music, or do I need to turn it down? Is that better? Having it just slightly in the background? Oh, and it turns off. Alright, let's try that. I think all the rest of these are all non-copyright. And then watch, then we're going to go into some copyright music. I'll have to press stop real quick. Alright, so we're going to stretch out the plum now. I was stretching out cobalt a moment ago thinking it was plum. Oh man, we got to deal with some more commercials. I don't know what happened. I should have. Oh, hold on a sec. I know what the problem is. I'm not signed in over here. Let me get signed in real quick. We'll get rid of all of the ads. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just put this down here for a sec. Alright, let's fix this whole situation. I just realized I don't think I'm signed into this computer. It's been a moment. So let's stop that. And let's sign in real quick. Got all these computers going. There we go, that's what it is. Oh, come on, I pressed sign in. Is it doing anything? This computer is like a little tiny computer over here in the corner. It's trying to run this whole thing. All it is just for background anyways. But we'll get it going. So I know that not everyone here celebrates Christmas. For a while I quit celebrating, and it was only until my children brought it back out for me and helped me basically get back into the Christmas spirit. Without the kids, I probably wouldn't be doing all this and getting all festive and everything. It's all for the children. It's all about allowing them to understand what it means to bring joy to others on these days, and being able to give gifts that then bring just happiness and warmth, letting people know that you care about them when you give them a gift, or even just a simple Christmas card, or even just a simple greetings and a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holidays. It lifts their spirits. And so, that's what we should be doing, in this world and in this time. And so yeah, that's why I got back into doing Christmas for the holidays for the kids, and allowing them to learn what it's all about, to give gifts and not just only receive them, but also know how it feels to basically become Santa, to basically become Santa, and to give your love through gifts, or just give your love, and just be able to uplift everyone's spirits. And so that's what it's all about, for me and for my kids, and just, that's what it's all about. But I know that there's people who don't celebrate it, and I don't mean to offend anyone in any way. I understand that it's it's looked upon as a colonized holiday. I know it's looked upon as many things, as a pagan holiday, as the day of Saturnalia, as the day of Jesus' birthday, which is very questionable on which day he was actually born, and just many things talking about how maybe it's really just about speaking of the winter solstice, which is today, right? Winter solstice. We go into our solstice, I believe, tonight, and I believe tonight is our longest night of the year, and then tomorrow is when the sun comes back up, when the sun rises once again for 3 days, and but then that's all about in the whole Passover and Easter and things like that. So there are so many different things that are like questionable and this and that, but for us, it's all about the celebrating for the children, letting them know about the nativity story, right? But our children also know about the Christmas stories, right? Krishna, Christmas, Jesus Christ, Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness. It's all the same. It's all one and the same. And so for us, we learn all these different ways, and we simply just celebrate the holiday in the same traditions as we've been brought into, as we've been brought up in. And so for me, I was brought up with having a tree, setting it up, getting the ornaments all ready and everything, and having having milk and cookies out for Santa and all these things, you know. But then also on one of those Christmases when I was 5 years old, it was also the first time that I had ever had a one-on-one encounter or sighting with a gray, with an alien. And I'll never forget that Christmas and that Christmas Eve. I was up thinking I was going to see Santa, and instead I saw a little alien. And so that's a whole different thing. So my Christmas and my memories of Christmas are really different. I remember also within that same time frame was when our family split up, and that was when my father went one way. We stayed with our mother, and Christmas was different. And I remember when I was 5 years old, also that same year, I was gifted a Daisy BB gun and my very first full size, full grown bicycle. It had a banana seat on it, and maybe had some cool little streamers coming off of it or something. I don't know, but that was what I remember from the time I was 5 years old, and that's then our Christmases were celebrated and getting gifts and things. And when I was growing up, money was tight, money was short, and here I'm gonna get started on working here. Oh yeah, we're signing in right here. Signing. Hopefully that's the right password. And then we'll get this music going. And so, we were brought up with giving gifts and leaving milk and cookies out, putting Christmas lights on the house, inside, outside, setting up all these things. I remember my grandparents. We'd go to their home every year for Christmas, and it was always something that I would look forward to. We'd go there, and anytime we go to our grandparents' house, like it would always be something to look forward to. But then once you got there, you were reminded on all the things you couldn't touch and all the areas you couldn't play, and that it wasn't really as fun as it was like all, um, you know, as what it was hyped up. But then what was cool is you get to explore different places, like go check out the garage and all the stuff that they got all these things in storage or whatever. And my grandparents, they actually had a pool table set up in the garage. So we'd go into the pool table room in the garage, and there'd be all this like stuff all around, all storage. And I remember there was a dartboard and other games and different things. I remember going to our grandparents. It was like a gaming room and different things. And then also, I remember like they had a two-story home, and so on the stairway, with the stairs going up, as you were on the outside of the stairs, not climbing up it, But as you were on the side of it, when you'd walk past it and go into the living room or the, I guess the family room in the back where the fireplace was, in the back room, which was near the backyard and that back, the back door there. Um, Up the stairway, I remember they would always tape the Christmas cards hanging, and then there'd always be like some sort of like garland or some streamers and something that would decorate all the way up and down the whole entire rafter of the stairway. You know, the whole handrail and everything. You know, and then underneath it, from under there, starting from that little area, the little nook that went underneath the stairway, and then there was a bathroom that went underneath um, our stairway there at our grandparents' house, and then it went into the living room, into the actual living room in the front. So we had like two doors to get in there, and so from that little area, I remember there was like a little village, Christmas village stuff set up, and it wrapped around into the family room, where then there was a whole bunch of stuff which we weren't supposed to like touch and play with, and all these things. But of course we did, right? We were kids, so of course we did, right? Exactly. That's okay. Everyone is welcome. Hey, what's going on, Marie? Blessings, blessings. So, yeah, I just remember, like, and also in that back room, it was connected to, like, the a extra dining room or something, like a breakfast nook. I don't know what it was. It was not within the kitchen, and in the kitchen there was an actual dining room that was next to the door that went out to the garage, and that dining room was where the stairway was. So when you walked into the front, living room be here, stairways right there, dining room here, and then the dining room went into the kitchen, and that's where our grandma Nana was always cooking, and our grandfather Tata. So we had Nana and Tata growing up, and our Nana and Tata was always sitting down, enjoying our company and always being funny. Always had jokes. He was always a jokester. Always. That's probably where I'm a little jokester too. And then, oh yeah, we got to finish pulling it. And and then I remember our Nana would always be baking cookies and making food or whatever, because we'd come over for, getting Christmas presents from our grandparents, and our, we'd always be bringing Christmas gifts too for the holidays, and doing the whole holiday photos with the family and all this stuff. And then, the adults would always visit while the kids would always go run around and play. It just always was like that. We just go run around and play. And I remember in the backyard, my grandfather was a golfer, and he had a little net set up where you could do like your practice tee offs and right into a net. And then there was a little putting green or a bunch of putting stuff. I think he had a putting green with holes set up, or at least it was just set up like a putting green where you could just practice hitting. Maybe we'd hit it into a cup or something. I don't remember. But that was Christmas for me, and then behind the kitchen back there where it connected into that living room where all the Christmas village was set up. I remember there was that was like the table that I think our mom ended up, like, that was the table she wanted. Like, when her parents died, when our grandparents passed on, that was the one thing she wanted, was that kitchen table. Even though she was in a little tiny 2-bedroom home and she didn't have any room for anything, God bless her soul, she wanted that table so bad. And so that table was the memories of what I remember, all the cookies and all the sweets. I think even the fruitcake, I think Nana made fruitcake. And all kinds of goodies, right? All kinds of treats, gingerbread homes, I believe, and it was just a lot of fun. I remember that. So that was my memory of growing up for Christmas when I was like younger and going to see our grandparents. And then, after the time when our parents divorced and went separate ways, then that's when we started having like separate Christmases, or two Christmases, where we have one with their mom, and then one with our father and our step family. Because then he ended up getting remarried. I don't know how soon after, but I think they split up when I was 5, and by the time I was, I think 9 or 10, so 4 years later or something like that, my father remarried, and then we had a step family. So I had a step brother, step sister, the stepmother, or a step sister, not step sisters, and a step brother, and that's when we ended up moving out here to Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was right when we so I guess like my 5th grade year was probably the last 4th grade year, maybe was the last like Christmas in our home that we had growing up. So I guess kindergarten was when our parents split up, and then by the time I was in like 4th grade was when we were selling the home and getting moving into the condos around the corner from us, and still going to the same school district, like basically right around the corner. Um, we were living a block around the corner from our elementary school, and we basically just moved to another block that was simply just a block around the corner from the school. So we were literally like right around the corner on a different street. And around that time, I remember my mom got a settlement for the house. They sold the house, and we ended up moving into the condos around the corner. It was a nice place. It wasn't a home, wasn't a big home like we had, but it was a nice place. Condos, brand new. I think they had just been built there, and we had an amazing Christmas there. I remember at the condos, and our mom went all out and bought all kinds of stuff. I remember we had all kinds of new furniture, and we had all kinds of new goodies. I had a new BMX bike, so probably I was riding around the same bike from the time I was 5 years old up until like at that point, I guess I'd be about 9 or 10 maybe. And we had an amazing Christmas, got all kinds of stuff. But then I don't know what happened. I don't know if our mom ended up spending more than she had from the settlement, spent it all maybe right away, or maybe it was coming in increments or something every month. I'm not sure. I don't know how any of that works. And we ended up then having to move out of there. We couldn't afford it anymore, couldn't afford the rent, and we couldn't get into a new spot, and all our new stuff ended up going in storage. And so from that point on, then I remember Christmas as being like, that put us out onto the streets. We ended up becoming homeless. We shouldn't have purchased all those things. And so in my life growing up, Christmas was so amazing and awesome, and then it became tainted because of just the mismanagement of the funds, the money, thinking that we needed all those things when really we needed to just make sure that we had a place to live and a place to stay. And so sometimes you got to make those sacrifices. And that's why I'm so grateful that these days, we have a roof over our head. We're able to keep all our bills going and not worry too much about that. Of course, it's always like, we're people live paycheck to paycheck. We don't even get paychecks. We're living cell to cell. Every little tiny cell that we make goes to helping out our family and our paradigm and everything. And yeah, I just remember from that point on, Christmas wasn't like, I didn't really care what I received. And I remember telling people, like, they'd ask me, like, what do you want for Christmas? And I remember my list were just like, nothing. Like, I don't need anything. I'm good. And so for as long as I can remember, I've never really had a Christmas list. I've never really asked for things. I've always just been grateful for what I've had, and grateful for the home that we have and the roof over our head. Because as a child growing up homeless, that really does something to you, and it affects you in a way that you understand the importance of that, the livelihood and everything like that. So, you know, Christmas became tainted to me for a while, and I wasn't into like celebrating it. I didn't want to spend money on all these lights that would end up just breaking and stuff, or a tree that we would just put up once a year anyways, and then we'd have to pay for a storage unit to store it, or it would take up space, or all these different things, or buy a new tree, which brand actual living tree, which every year I didn't want to be giving into that, and taking out a tree every year just so we could have a live tree in our living room that wasn't alive anymore. And so yeah, I've had a kind of tainted experience with Christmas, and it took until having children that I finally like turned around and realized, we got to do this for our kids. We got to show them the joy of the Christmas spirit and what it really means. And there comes a time when our kids start to find out about what's the truth and what's not. And I don't know if there's kids watching this, so I don't want to say anything. But we've come to a point now where, oh my gosh, was that on my lap? That was on my lap, and it finally broke. I'm gonna have to get a new one now. Okay, we'll replace that one. Oops, I broke my smoking utensil. I forgot I had it on my lap, so I just have to bust one out, and it's a Merry Christmas to me. We'll get a new one here in a sec. So yeah, once my kids were born, then it became something on, teaching them about the spirit of Christmas and the holiday, giving the and and showing your loved ones, those that you really really love, the people that are really really important to you. Let them know how important they are by simply giving them a gift and letting them know you care. Real simple as that. And eventually, you teach them that becomes what the whole entire spirit of Christmas is just you're lifting up people's spirits. That's all. You're giving them the Christmas spirit, the Christ spirit. You're just lifting up spirit. That's all. The Christmas spirit. It's really like, we want to be able to do that. We want to be able to raise the vibration in everyone, in all beings, in all people, in all, so that way we all can be vibrating at a higher frequency, and we can be generating a better positive livelihood. That's gonna make it simple, huh? Okay. All right, so we're about to get started here. I might stretch out a little bit more white just to make sure. And so nowadays, we have an 11-year-old and a four-year-old. He's like almost 6, pretty much. Oh my God, this guy. He's so funny. He wants to be 5 so bad already. It's like, well, it's gotta wait. Like, it's not. You can't rush those things. I'm sorry. You might want to identify as a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, but it doesn't work that way. But yeah, he's getting big and he's so smart. He understands so much. And so now, we're teaching him about, you know, Santa and Christmas and you know, the whole Santa Christmas story, and also teaching them the nativity story. And we're teaching them about gifting to others. So, we went out and went shopping, and he was able to find something specifically for his big sister who he loves so much. We didn't do anything. I didn't even think about that. Like, that's funny. We just made sure that he got something for his sister. I didn't even think about getting something for him for Mama and for Dada. For us, like, oh yeah, he's not gonna get us anything, I guess. But we'll get his sister something, and that's fine. I don't know. We still got a few days. You can always change that. Maybe take him out, go shopping today, and see if he wants to get something for. Maybe I can take him and see if he wants to get something for Mama, and then maybe Mama can take him and see if he wants to get something for me. But he already did a Christmas, a letter to Santa. So he's already asked Santa all these special requests. So, if we get our special request, then that'll be good too. And so, it's all about the joy of showing him, that Santa loves him and cares about him too. And it lifts up his spirit, makes him feel good. And why not make people feel good and lift up their spirit? Because right now, this world is hurting so bad. And I know a lot of people want to be like the Grinch and be a bunch of hamburgers. But whatever it is, them hamburgers. For me, I'm going to continue to celebrate it and show our children the Christmas spirit. And we're going to keep it jolly AF. Right? Jolly and festive. This is my ugly sweater. It ain't ugly at all, actually. It needs all kinds of weird stuff on it to make it ugly. Okay, we're about to get started now. Kiln should be at a good temperature here. It's been on all morning. Alright. We got plenty clear. Hopefully we got plenty oxygen and propane and we don't run out making these. I gotta make 5 more. Ooh, that's gonna be cutting it close. Alright, we're gonna do our best here. Alright, here we go. We're getting started. We got all the colors pulled, right? We got the purple, the white, the blue, the pink, the purple, the white, the blue, the pink. Okay, we're good. So we're working on this. If you just got here, this is what we'll be working on today. We got a couple of these to make. Well, I said 5 more. And then we may work on a couple other items, maybe some Christmas ornaments, maybe working on some things. I'm just going to hang out here for as long as I possibly can. We're going to make this run 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I guess on Facebook we're only limited to 4 hours. And sorry, missing some messages here. I have that Water is Life logo tattooed on your leg. Word. That is so awesome. Right on. Appreciate you being a water protector. Let's keep that water alive and thriving. Right? Drinking water. Uh-oh. YouTube done glitch right there. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. Here, let me put this speaker down. Also, we also need to bring up some music, right? Okay. We'll get back to some Christmas music here. And we'll just keep the screen small. We don't really need to make it big. All right, and I'm gonna do my best to read any comments. It's hard to read through this, but I see J7 Waldo's here, keeping it jolly. That's right, keeping it jolly AF. All right, Snowflake is the song apparently. We're gonna bring some music here in. Let me know if you can hear the music or you can't. If it's too loud. Uh-oh. It shouldn't be doing that. I figured if we kept the screen small, we wouldn't be worrying about any glitches. This little computer. You know, Santa, I need a new computer for Christmas. That's actually what our 4-year-old put in his Santa's letter. His letter to Santa, he wanted Santa to bring the kitty cats a Sonic the Hedgehog toy, cat toy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to find some kind of a stuffed animal or something from Santa, right? And he said he wanted make sure it's not a wig, and he wanted a. All right, sorry, I had to see what the colors were on this. Oh yeah, also, let's bring this into balloon shape right away. No. How many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in the middle. Maybe. So he wrote that he wanted something Harry Potter for his sister, his older sister, because she's all into Harry Potter stuff. And for Mama, he said that she needs a new robe, a nice, warm, fuzzy robe. So I guess Santa's gonna somehow have to pull that one off. And then for Dada, for me, a new computer. I'm like, really? Like, how am I gonna do that? And I don't have the money for a new computer. Santa's gonna have to make some miracles happen on that one. But for Boogie, I think Santa's gonna be able to make it happen. I think Santa can make that happen somehow. You know, with his Santa magic, he can make anything happen, right? Alright, I don't know if that's gonna work. We're gonna have to do it up a little bit different here. I'm trying to get the shaping of the balloon first, but I think maybe I just do it the way I did it before. I think it'll work out okay. And so yeah, that's the Santa list our 4-year-old put out this year, which is really thoughtful. And then for himself, he wanted a Daniel Tiger stuffed animal, a new Daniel Tiger stuffed animal, and something with the number blocks. He's into number blocks. He's way into the number blocks. So I think Santa's going to be able to. I think he's good enough. I think Santa's going to pull through for Boogie this year. We have to do some magic with that computer. They're just going to get a little toy and be like, look, I got a new one. I don't know. I'm like, hey, what are we going to do? How are we going to do that? I don't have like $100 or $200 to just drop on a quick laptop so I can just wrap it up and be like, look at what I got. So that would be nice. You know what I really need? is an external drive with a few terabytes on it. That would really help. Then I wouldn't need a new computer. Although, yeah, I do need a new computer, so I can have an operating system, um, an onboard, an OBS system, so I can then do videos and video editing and music and all kinds of stuff. Okay, this is what I'm talking about here. Let's see if this works. So we're going to pre-shape it before we color it, so that way we get all those colors set up, and that's going to become a hot air balloon. All right, we're going to line the colors up right. We got purple, pink, blue, then white. Just like that. And not this one at all. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just start on the top here and simply wrap this around. And we just match it back up to where we started. Do a little pulling and stretching to get that shaping right on there. And then we go with the next color. And then we go with the pink. So this pink I had to actually create, which was a red and a really light pink. And hopefully this pink works. Now this first attempt today is actually the second time making this balloon. So I'm doing my best to make this better than that very first attempt. And that's hard to do, to outdo yourself. That's not an easy feat to accomplish every time. But I think pre-shaping it like this is definitely going to help. And also, that first one, I wasn't too happy with the way it felt jumbled. This is the very first one right here. As you can see, to me it looks a little bit too jumbled, and there's too much of the purple lines on there. And I don't think there's really that many. I don't know. Maybe there's 6, but I'm not sure. There could be 6. It could be 6 lines instead of 8, which throws off, like then I have to do 3 and 3. That makes it interesting. You go 1, 2. Oh. Okay, then the white. Whoa! I don't want to break it. I have to re-stretch it. That would suck to have to do that when I got these colors all laid down. You probably just end up starting over again. So doing replica balloons, as you can see, these are all one of a kind. They're all handmade. They're not made in a mold of any sort, anything like that. This is some creepy Christmas music. All right, and now we're on to the center color. And we're about halfway on this shaping here. So I think I got that shaping right. We're making sure that all those lines line up. That's right. And not overlapping or anything either. You want to make sure that every color is like coming through. All right, so there's that one, purple and pink. We just got to keep on laying these down. Oh, somehow got out of order there. Pink, then blue, then white. Gotta always check. They think I have this card. Do the blue. Now we're going underneath the curvature of this round sphere, which will become the balloon. Okay, so we want purple, pink, blue, white, white, and then purple, and we're done. And then we can start the shaping the colors. And if you look closely on the card here, the colors are actually zigzagging up and down. They're not just wrapped around like this, and there's even more shaping to it. Well, that was a weird song transition there. It was like Islander music. Islander Christmas, like Christmas Calypso. It's a free non-copyright music, so that way we don't get in trouble here. Although the first part of the video, we had some Elvis, which I thought was the instrumental, and it turned out I chose the wrong one, or the mouse was all dumb, whatever. All right, white and then purple at the end. Now we bring this all the way down again to the bottom. So love that each balloon is unique, one of a kind himself, which gives me the challenge to see, like, can I actually replicate them or not? It's such a really awesome challenge. And then they have to try to do it again and again to make a set of them, or to make a dozen, or however many is ordered. I feel really grateful that I'm able to do these types of things. It's not something that just anyone can do. You can ask glass artists out there and see if they can do this type of work for you. I don't know. If they can, then cool. And if they can do it for less, then cool too. But I don't know anyone else on this planet that actually offers to replicate hot air balloons, or as tiny as I do, as detailed and intricate as I make them, as best as I can, and for as affordable as I make them as well. Because I make them affordable too, that's the other thing. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I can do this. All right, so let's continue on with talking about Christmas. So, as a child, I remember moving with my parents, and then from that point, moving from my mom's into my father's place with my step family, and then Christmas changed a little bit. At that point, our father, he was always the one who was the breadwinner, and always the one who was managing the bills and things. So, living with him, things were a little bit more stable in that aspect. And, but then again, things weren't so stable in other aspects as well. But, we had a pretty decent growing up. Our father was pretty well to do for a little while. And so we were able to get things. I remember he got us skateboards. I believe that first year that I was living with him, I got my very first skateboard. So I went from, riding a bike and BMXing to then getting into skating around, I think, 10, 11 years old at that time. And then from that point on, that changed my life, becoming a skater. For many, many years I was a skater, and even to my heart, I'm still a skater at heart. I just don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to fall down and break my arms, hurt my hands, because I got to do this. So now I'm skating on fire, and a lot of skateboarders can't do this. So I can skate and I can blow that. I just can't skate as good as I used to. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm an old school skater, and ever since I moved in with my father, that's when I got into skateboarding. And we're out there in California for a while. I remember he had a friend named Barney Gerald. For some reason, I always think it was Barney Rubble. I'm like, no, it's not Barney Rubble. Barney Gerald. And his wife, Carol. Carol Gerald and Barney Gerald. I believe they were the Geralds. Was she Carol Gerald? Now I'm like realizing that. Like, wait a minute. Her name was Carol Gerald. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, some family that lived out, they were actually right down the street from us, so they were our neighbors. And then, I guess when my father had moved out of there, I think they worked together maybe too or something, I don't know. But then they ended up moving away, and they went to a place called Hesperia, California, which is out in the desert, out there by like Apple Valley and stuff. So we'd go out there. I remember go have Christmas out there. And I remember anytime we'd go over there, they would always have tacos. I think we had Christmas tacos, guys, from the time I was growing up, and that's why I'm addicted. They would make these really greasy beef tacos, with some ground beef. They're like super greasy with a bunch of onion. And, you put it in your taco shell and it would just be like dripping with grease, right? And then a bunch of cheese and then lettuce and tomato and sour cream. And they'd always have like, I think it was, what was that? It's a red salsa, not Louisiana. It's not Tapatio or anything like that. It was like the Ortega's chili, I think, or something like that, where it was like basically a spicy ketchup. And I remember that was the kind of, or maybe it was like La Valentina or something like that. I don't remember, but it wasn't really hot, but it was tomatoey, like a tomato paste. And so those are the kind of tacos I remember growing up. Maybe even they put potatoes and beef mixed together, all greasy potato beef tacos. But I remember we'd go over there in the desert and we'd have Christmas out there, and their boys, they grew up like hunters. So they had a bunch of guns, and they were out there with their ATVs. They had like 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers and stuff. And that was when 3-wheelers were legal way back in the early 80s. And so we'd go out there and have Christmas with the Geralds. I remember it was a lot of fun, good memories. And then years later, we ended up moving out here to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we moved into our grandparents' home, Lucia, by the fairgrounds, which is actually just right around the corner from where we're at here today. And I remember, okay, we're gonna start lining, trying to Google. Okay, we're gonna do one and try to do this in these. Okay, yeah, I think so. So not in 4s, but in 3s. So yeah, I remember being out there for a while, and then about 88 is when we came out here. And that's when I experienced, like we had 3 foot of snow out here in Albuquerque. And the weather was always, like, it seemed like it was always like that. Like you could just always count on a good winter storm every year out here in Albuquerque. We'd always have a good snowstorm right around, I'd say about Halloween time would be when our first snow would come down. And, it'd stick around March even. And, the first time I ever went snowboarding in 97, I remember it was April 17th. And it was still snowing in April. And nowadays, we don't get that snow anymore. Those airplanes leave those lines every day and make sure that we never have that precipitation in the sky anymore. We don't get that luxury of being able to make snowmen like we used to when we were kids and stuff. And they're trying to sell us on this whole global warming thing, which back when we were kids, we didn't have to worry about any of that, And now they're doing weather manipulation and modification. They're trying to get everyone to think that the weather and Mother Nature is out of control, when really it's everything that they're doing to manipulate it and to keep selling you on global warming, which is a pretty interesting thing. So, the other thing too that I try to teach my kids is, even though this holiday is all about giving and everything, it doesn't always have to be about the Hallmark holiday, right? On always making sure that you go to the stores and things like that, because that's what the government has done to boost our economy, making sure that during every holiday they can boost our economy and getting you to purchase as many things to consume as much as possible, even though we don't need anything, you know. Having a nice, good dinner with the family and maybe exchanging a gift or two with each other, you know, is plenty. We don't have to go all out. We don't have to raise these children that are always like, I only got 37 gifts this year. Last year I had 38. You know, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened to gratitude? What happened to thank you? You know? So we got to also teach our children about consumerism and not overdoing it. Making sure that you have just enough, or you know, but also, you know, we love our kids and we want them to have some awesome fun experiences with all their new toys, new games, new items that they're going to be getting here in the next couple of days, and just seeing their faces light up. You know, it's all worth it to me to work extra hard to be able to afford without having to worry about what we're going to do next month, or if we're going to be able to afford to pay for this or pay for that. But just knowing that it's all good and things are beautiful. And then also having family members like my oldest sister who knows, you know, just all the love, the time, and the energy that was spent when we were children and what our mothers put into it. And now she's at that age and stuff where she's the older auntie and she likes to do a lot for her nieces and nephews, and you know, making sure that her family is taken care of. And so you know, she sent us a little bit extra to make sure that our kids got, you know, pretty much whatever they really needed and even what they wanted. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to do that and not worry, you know. And I gotta be grateful. I gotta just give gratitude and just give thanks that, you know, I was blessed with having this God-given talent and this ability to be able to do these things. But you know, then it takes a lot more than just that. It takes the whole being able to get these into the right hands of the right individuals and stuff, and just to be able to make those prayers and then to do the work, to do that devotional service, to do the work in order to then make those prayers come true and make it happen. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's one thing that we always got to give thanks. And we always got to remember, you know, that this day we also celebrate it because of Jesus. And we want to make sure that our children understand who Jesus was. And we also want to make sure that they understand who Krishna was and Buddha in that way, because their mother is a Buddhist and their father is a Krishna devotee. And we both love Jesus. We revere Jesus in the highest way. And so this Sunday, we also are planning on going to the Christmas Eve sermon over at a Citizen Church. We go every year. We meet up with some friends of ours who've been inviting us every year now for I don't know how many years. And so we go over there and we join them. And yeah, that's such a beautiful thing to be able to go and enjoy that sermon, the message that they give, and also to be able to see the show that they put on. Is so spectacular what they do over at Citizen Church every year. So even though I'm a devotee of Krishna, I still love Jesus. You know, I'm still, you know, throughout the day, a lot of people don't realize this, but for many, many years now, I'd say probably since about 2008, 2009, you know, I was taught to work in numbers and to work in special numbers and that some numbers are angelic numbers, and there are some numbers that represent certain individuals and entities, and the number 7 represents Jesus. And so, and the number 12, and so many times when I'm drinking water, because I understand the importance of water, because water comes from Creator, water is what connects us all. And so when I'm drinking, usually I'm only drinking water. When I'm drinking water, I drink it in gulps of specific numbers in order for certain prayer manifestations to honor individuals, to honor Jesus, to honor the 12 disciples. So sometimes, and a lot of times, I'm always drinking in gulps of 7. And I do understand 777 is actually more the number that's associated with Jesus. And so, a lot of people don't realize these things, even though I am a devotee of Krishna and I've learned these other ways, and still learning. Even yesterday, I'm sharing some new knowledge and new information, which is interesting because that knowledge and information is new, and yet it's been revealed right here next to me. I have an issue with reading. I'm going to be straight. Good morning, Kalan. I see you watching here. Good morning, good morning. I don't know if I've missed any other messages. But, a lot of times I'm drinking and always understanding that water connects us in those ways. And so while I'm drinking in gulps of 7, that water is connecting me to Jesus. It's connecting me to that Christ consciousness, which I also understand is the same consciousness that resides within the Krishna consciousness. And that basically we're just trying to raise the energy, the frequency, and the vibration to be able to get everyone to vibrate back to God. To be able to have that personal relationship with God once again. As Jesus preached, that he prays one day that everyone will be able to have a personal relationship with God and know that they are also the sons of God. In the Bible, Jesus states that, and he asked for that. And so it's interesting when, individuals may come out and say that they feel that consciousness within them, that Krishna consciousness, the Christ consciousness within them, that they're having conversations with God, that they're being told clear messages by God, and they're listening, and they're also following the instruction. Many hear the calling, only few will listen and answer the calling, right? Many are given the calling, only few are chosen. That's because those are the chosen ones that are actually listening and then acting upon it. It's knowing that you pray and then you do the actions, that you actually then do the devotional service, you do the work. So then, your prayer should be to pray for strength, to pray for endurance, to pray to be able to get through whatever it is in order to be able to receive that manifestation on which you're praying for. You don't just ask God for a material object like, hey, God, grant me this home, and then bam, boom, it's done, right? No, you have to then do all the works. Like, okay, God, please, I pray that you show me the right direction into how to acquire a home, a beautiful home, not just any home, but a beautiful home for my family, for my children to have a yard to play in, that's safe, away from all this harm that we've been in, and away from this sort of living that we've been in here. I pray that we manifest a beautiful home that isn't hard to keep and easy to maintain, and one that we all will love and enjoy together. And I just pray that you show me the way on what needs to be done so that that can be done. And that's what you do. You then figure out, okay, now what do I need to do? Got to build up my credit. I gotta put money aside and start putting it towards the down payment. We got to start figuring out other sorts of investments and things to make things happen, right? Having an issue with the audio feed is if the music is too loud. I know that the fan is loud and the torch is always loud. Then I add music to it. I don't have a microphone yet. One day we'll have a mic all set up. It'll be all nice. We'll have it like this, all bing, all coming down like a boom mic. Hello, check everyone. 1, 2, 1, 2, testing. But soon, not yet. So right now, that's just a prop. All right, we're gonna try to make this happen now. All right, so we've got the color now going, the up and down pattern. You can see, and now I have to add these lines here. Right? Okay. We're gonna do a purple line on each one. So today I saw that Santa is going to be here at the airport, you guys, at the Sunport here in Albuquerque. And hopefully we'll be able to get our son to go and see Santa for his first time ever. Or I don't know if it's his first time ever because it probably happened when he was younger. But this is the age, 4 years old. This is the time that he's really going to remember it all. Year, this is an important year to make sure that we have an amazing, wonderful Christmas for him. With the age that he's coming into right now, he's going to remember this for the rest of his life. You know? Alright, I'm going to try to do something here. I'm going to create even more if I can. Of the balloon shaping in between here. So you know, one thing that we just learned yesterday was that you know, there's the book that I've had like right next to me for I don't know how many years now. I've had this book. It's called Kingdom Traveler. Jesus, the lost years or the missing years or something like that. And it talks about, and I see the thing is I've already had this information downloaded to me that Jesus studied at temple of Lord Jagannath, and so Lord Jagannath, to us devotees of Krishna, is Jagannath is basically Krishna. Jagannath is Krishna. Krishna is Jagannath, and so to know that Jesus went to the temple of Jagannath, it makes me understand so much more. For me to not know how to interpret the Bible and knowing that there's so many chapters and so many pages missing, purposely hidden away from us. There's 56 miles of knowledge and information that's been hidden from us underneath the Vatican. And 56 miles. Can you imagine that? Think about one library. That's not even 1 mile, right? It's like a block. One block of books, right? Well, imagine 1 mile of books, a whole corridor of books, a whole mile. And then imagine 56 of those. 56 miles of hidden information, sacred information and knowledge that's been hidden from us for some reason. We're not supposed to know about many things. But yet, there's a lot of information that's been coming out, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Emerald Tablets, all these different things, the new book that they found in, I believe, in Turkey or in Afghanistan, when we were in Desert Storm in the 90s, I believe, or early 2000s. They found a Vimana flying ship as well. All kinds of stuff has been going on in history. And there's new findings that's been coming up, new truths, new information that's been coming up. And so it's really amazing to finally hear all these things actually coming out and knowing the connection and knowing that some of the truth hasn't been revealed just yet to everyone for some reason. Yet, the absolute truth can be found within the Vedas. For those of us who understand Krishna consciousness and the Bhagavatam and the cantos and just knowing of that information and that knowledge that's out there, which came, thousands and thousands of years before Jesus, but then knowing that Jesus went to go search this knowledge, that's amazing information. That's how it's coming out. And the thing is, I have a problem reading books. Ever since I was a kid, I would start reading and it puts me to sleep. So I can never get through, I might read maybe a chapter, but it's going to be hard for me to get through that whole chapter. Reading a page, I might start nodding off at the end of the page. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I'm ADHD or whatever. I have no idea. I don't go to doctors. So I have no idea, My doctor is nature. It comes from God, Straight up. I use all of God's creations, all the plants as medicine. Right? Genesis 1:12. I bring forth all the seed-bearing plants and fruit, yielding fruit for you to use as meat. And I saw it was good. Before the Bible was written, all that knowledge and information is out there in the Vedic scriptures and I don't know if it's in maybe the Sri Upanishads, maybe, but I'm not 100%. It's in there and it tells you all kinds of information and knowledge about the medicines and the plants and the herbs and all the different things that we're supposed to be able to use on this planet, I love that we're coming out with new knowledge, new information, and learning that basically Jesus possibly was a devotee of Krishna. He went to the temple of Jagannath. We know that he studied in in Buddhist temples as well. And so it's a beautiful thing to understand that, in the Bible it says that, at 13, there was an incident that occurred where he left and they didn't know where he went to, right? They all went searching for him and they're all looking. They didn't know where he went, right? But when he returned, he came back a more learned man, a more wise man, and a more devoted man of God. He became the Son of God, basically, in the time that he was away, basically in learning about the Vedic scriptures and learning about all the absolute truths. He then was able to become what's now known as Jesus the Christ, right? Lord Jesus Christ, right? Instead of Lord Krishna, he's now Lord Christ. And he got downloaded all that information. It's what happens, for us. It's basically all the information that comes from Krishna. And the end all is actually Vishnu. But Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. It's the one that we can then have a personal relationship with, to be able to then be afforded the knowledge, the information, the wisdom that comes directly from God. The spoken word of God is the Vedas, right? Like Ayurveda, right? What is Ayurveda? It's the science of food, right? So the Vedas is simply just the science of life, the science of God. It puts it all there, all out. Man, this one's going to come out so much better. Now that we did them in 6, that looks awesome. I'm happy with it. Now we just got to replicate this 4 more times. Hopefully I have enough oxygen and propane to make it happen. And if not, we just make what we can, We just do the best that we can. That's all we can ever do, is always do our best. What any of us can ever do is our best. The 4 agreements always come into play too, right? Always do your best, keep an impeccable word, never make assumptions, and don't take anything personal. That's the hardest one for everyone. Don't take it personal. I guess it's still Christmas music. It says winter with. Oh, okay. Got some jams going here. Man, I'm like, any side could be the front now on this one. Oh. So yeah, for us, this year, Christmas, it's even better because now we're understanding the beautiful connection with Jesus and Jagannath and the temple of Jagannath and all the teachings and everything. And so for me, it just solidifies it in stone on how powerful Jesus really was, and the information, the knowledge that he received in that time, how he became such a more learned man, he became such a more wise man, he became such a more spiritual man, he became such a more devoted man to God. He became a devotee to God. That's all he did. He just became a devotee. He learned how to serve God when he went up there. So it's beautiful to get this information, but there's a lot of individuals who are never going to accept that as the truth, even though archaeological finds and information proves that this is the actual archaeological truth that we're finding here. It's not just a myth or legend or lore. And before I even knew about this book, I was looking for the audio book of it. I was like, I can't sit here and read it. I really want to know what's in this book, because I have heard that Jesus studied in the temples of Krishna and Buddha, you know. And actually, Jesus led me personally to Krishna in my own. In it's way interesting, but in a time of darkness when I needed to find answers, like right away, and I didn't want to be here on this planet anymore. Um, Apparently, Creator decided to show me a direction and led me to a a reading that a friend of mine was giving at the place called the Peace and Justice Center, which I go every week now for free food, right? The free food line. So at this same place, my friend had was using it as a seminar, a hall to hold a seminar on the teachings of Jesus, the Buddhist teachings of Jesus. And that basically there's some scripture out there, there's books, there's writings of Jesus and his teachings of Buddhism. And within that time, I was then placed into a meditation with the rest of the group. We were all placed in a meditation. And in that meditation, I was led directly into the lotus flower, which I had no idea what the lotus flower meant, the Lotus Sutra, any of that, right? And these are the Buddhist teachings of Jesus from a book that I had no idea it existed or whatever, but I was looking for answers. I needed answers. And then, right after that, I step outside. I walk across the street, run into a friend, a musician friend, who says, "Hey man, come on over, brother." And he's, I believe he's from Africa. And he said, "Hey man, you gotta meet my friends here. They're good people. They let me stay here on the couch and chill, and they let me leave my instruments here to keep them safe." Because our friend Pasine, he actually he didn't have a place to be, I guess, or didn't have a safe place to keep his instruments. So these friends of his allowed him to keep his stuff there, keep it safe, and if he needed a place to crash, he could sleep there too. And so he introduced me to his friends inside, and that's where I was introduced to my spiritual master, my spiritual teacher, who then, at the time of meeting him, morphed into Jesus and into other entities that I didn't know or recognize at the time, and I still don't know who they could have been or were. But he was changing right in front of me and morphing, and he formed into Jesus, and he formed into these other beings, and he kept coming into himself. And I was on this, like I said, I was on a path where at that point I didn't want to be here no more. And so my whole journey was to go and get drunk and just to drink my basically. And I ended up on the way, seeing that my friend was giving a reading, I decided I'll stop there first on my way. Because where I was drinking was literally right down the street right there on Harvard. Because Peace and Justice is at Harvard and Silver. And the place that I rocked across the street was also on Harvard and Silver. Peace and Justice is on the southeast corner. And the place where I met my spiritual master was on the northwest corner. And we are now also doing business with individuals who are on the northeast corner as well. So something about that corner there, guys, in that area, there's something good about that spot. But that then led me, and the teachings of Jesus then led me across the street, because I would not have stopped had I just continued on with my journey to go get drunk. And Creator basically intervened and said, "No, I got someone I need you to meet," and sent me to my spiritual master, my guru, my teacher of Krishna consciousness. And basically all he did was he talked to me about things that they were working on, which was directly in alignment. Like, you know how God will reveal himself to you in a way that you can identify with him, right? And so basically, I was being told all these things of stuff that I wanted to do or was working on all by myself on my own. You know, working on music, audio recording, and figuring that out. And like, I can't do it on my own because I don't have all the equipment. But bam, lo and behold, it's all right here in front of me, right? And they want to do video production. Oh, like this here, right? Real simple. This is real simple analog style video production on the digital format, but this is totally the way I do it here is so basic compared to how we were going to be doing things and the way we've made productions and edited things working. And so, you know, all these beautiful things were being presented to me in this way, you know, that it was like, whoa, I maybe have found a team of individuals who are working on that same level, just right there with me, doing the same things that I want to do as well. And maybe I just need to stop trying to do stuff on my own and start working with others. You know, like this message was so quick in the download, it was so interesting, but I heard it all crystal clear, right? And then I was simply invited in to stay for dinner, and he said that to make some food, to offer the food to an altar that they have on the above the fireplace there, and they were going to offer the food to an altar, and then they were going to read from a book, do a reading, and then everyone would be served food. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds awesome. You know, I thought I was going to go and get drunk and just go and just drink my blues away. But wow, I'm about to get, you know, schooled on some information that I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea what any, like, it was really interesting how I was brought in. And so for me, because because I heard that calling from Jesus to go listen to the scriptures of the Buddhist teachings of Jesus, that then led me right across to the direct path that I've been taught is the direct path to God without any sort of anything in between. If you want to get right to Him, directly to Him, and you want to get put through the ringer, so to speak, so you can cleanse your soul. And to be able to then learn all these things and to remove that of what once remained of you and to completely just, like, it's a complete cleansing. It's interesting. You know, and I don't wish it upon anyone because getting put through that ringer it's not for everyone. And everyone needs to be able to find that on their own time and on their own path. So I never asked anyone to do what I did and do or whatever. But then I ended up staying for dinner, for prasadam, for blessed food. I ended up staying for the reading, which came from the Bhagavad Gita, and then hearing the words of our spiritual master, and learning of the report that was then spoken of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Haribol, and being able to hear his report on the teachings that comes directly from the words that were passed down in the Vedas, which then became put into the Bhagavad Gita. You know, it's like all this knowledge, all these books. You know, there's so many of them, all these volumes. You know, like I always tell everyone, the Bible to me is like one book. It's like the cliff notes of everything all combined. And that's what the Bhagavad Gita is as well. It's like the cliff notes of all of this all combined, all the spiritual knowledge and information. And it's what helped me to then start to really understand my true connection with Jesus Christ, my connection with God, and to basically no matter what label that we want to put on God, that it doesn't matter as long as we're simply here serving God. And that's the beauty of it, is that it does not matter as long as we find that path back to God. And that's what Christmas is all about, is being able to then find connection again, right? And to utilize Jesus Christ as the beacon of light, as the beacon of hope, as the way to get back to God. For me, it's not the only way. And I asked this question I've been asking for many, many decades now. How does anyone, well, I guess not for many decades now, but for a while now, at least a decade, been asking this question: how does anyone have a connection with God before Jesus, before baby Jesus was even born? How did anyone have that personal relationship, right? Was it only the sages that were allowed and afforded that relationship with God? Was it just those true mystics and other individuals who came before Jesus, who were also extremely spiritually gifted and powerful in those ways? I believe that every individual has a soul and a God self within, and that we all have a personal existence and relationship with God, with Creator. It's as simple as that. And so before Jesus, there was a way to God. And for many of us, we understand that way to be through Krishna, or through Krishna consciousness. Instead of Christ consciousness, it's simply Krishna consciousness. To understand the Vedanta teachings will really be able to open you up to a lot more than just what I understand the cliff notes to be of the entire Vedic scriptures. So I implore everyone to not, don't stop worshiping Jesus. Jesus can be the way, the source, and the life for many, because he is basically teaching that same consciousness, that same path. So it doesn't matter, as long as you're in that way. That's the truth and most important. All right, we're going to continue making. We got 4 more to go. All right, this time we're just going to stretch it out. So yeah, this Sunday we'll be enjoying the sermons and the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm sure they'll be going over the nativity scene and the different things. And the one thing I love about Pastor Dustin over at Citizen Church is, he keeps it really real. He talks about the manger and how the manger probably wasn't as nice, little stable and full of clean hay and stuff. Like we're talking about trying to get out of the cold and out, like, away from like muddy paths and things where the animals were in the animal manger, right? Where there's probably like feces on the floor and things like that. It wasn't the most cleanliest place to have a child, right? But they had to get out of the cold and they had to be able to find shelter in that time as they were trying to get away from what they claim to be, the whole every first male was ordered to be removed from this planet, right? And so they were running and hiding, and that's what came to be known as the nativity scene there. And so I love that when Pastor Justin, he talks about those things in a real way. Like, it wasn't clean. And it probably wasn't even in a wooden stable, but probably like in a hole, like a cave, like just a little dugout in the dirt or something, underneath some rocks or something like that. Like, that makes absolute sense, it totally does. So I like it when pastors, they keep it real, but he's still teaching the ways of Christianity, and not understanding that Christ learned about Krishna consciousness. Christianity, Krishna consciousness, Christ consciousness, to me it's all the same. And it's a beautiful thing that we can then connect in that way all together. Because we are all brothers and sisters of God, right? I know I'm a son of God. I don't know about you. But if we're all brothers and sisters of God, then we're all sons and daughters of God. We are all sons and daughters of God. And until you accept that, and how are you to actually live on the true path of Jesus? How are you actually supposed to live in the real righteous path of Jesus? It's supposed to be in that way. But then people become so, I don't know, jealous or envious, or I don't know what it is. They don't like it when others start to speak in ways that maybe Jesus did, or absolute truths, or different things, or say things, and say that they're the Son of God, whatever it is. People don't like to hear those things, and so then they put them down. They say, "Oh, you're just a crackpot, or you're just this, or you're just that." Instead of just accepting that is truly what Jesus wanted. He asked the Lord and prayed that one day that we will all have the same relationship with God as He does. That we can all be sons and daughters of God. But for some reason, it's hard for people to accept that. They don't want to be just like Jesus. It's too hard for them to live in the light like that. It's really hard to just always constantly nothing but talking about God. People get tired of it. Don't you talk about other things? Don't you have anything else to talk about? Not even lying. Like, wow. Okay. I don't know. I think that I'm always constantly speaking of God and trying to always raise the vibration and frequency of God, to let people know that God exists and we can all have a connection with God. And we can utilize Jesus to find that way, the source, the light, that beacon of hope, to be able to get that relationship back with God. Why not? If that way works for you, please use it. Always, every day, every moment. Just become more Jesus-like, is all. I ask you, Jesus, become Jesus for us all. I ask you all to become Jesus for us all. If we can all do that, that would be beautiful. But people are too afraid to take that on. Too hard, too difficult. Not me, right? Not I, not me, not it. One day, someone will be enough to stand up, to speak of all this absolute truth, and just be in that way, in that light, in that energy. And eventually that individual will become known as, like Jesus wasn't known as at that moment in time. Like they were still trying to accept it and understand his teaching. It wasn't until after, or they wouldn't have crucified him. But many thought he was just something ordinary, just an ordinary man who understands that Vedic knowledge, that information that comes, the absolute truth that comes from God. But it's interesting on all the different, many, many ways to God, and all the different religions, and all the different teachers that try to tell you this is the way, that's the way, and this and that, and whatever. And my way is better, and whatever. Instead of just focusing on just, it doesn't matter as long as you continuously stay focused on God. It doesn't matter which way, which doesn't matter. That's the truth of it. As long as you have a personal relationship with God, you can't go wrong. As long as you are working on your personal relationship with God, you can't go wrong. That's the truth, the way, the source, and the life. Focus on God. So this Christmas, show your loved ones that you love them. In this way, as we show each other our love, the things that we give each other is going to be a way of showing how much we love them. A lot of people will they'll equate it in money, like, oh my God, that's such an expensive gift, right? Such an expensive gift, right? Or oh my God, you put how many hours into this painting, or like, wow, you put that much time and energy into it. You work that many hours to afford such an expensive gift. When you give someone your time and your energy, that's what's most important. So always remember that during the holidays, this season, and any holiday season, always remember that. It's all about what we give back to others, our devotional service to others. It's why we're here, right? To be guardians and stewards of this vessel, right? To basically help out all living creatures, which means our brothers and our sisters. But then, we can also include our brothers and sisters to be all the living creatures as well, right? And if we can include our brothers and sisters in that way, all the winged ones and the scaled ones and the ones with the four-leggeds and the two-leggeds, all of them, if we can honor them as well, but using them for food and for meat, but using the plants for food and for meat. A lot of people say, oh, if everyone only listened to God. It's like, well, we got to also remember the things that we're not, we're not following instruction on some things, right? And so if you focus on those things on your own, you can work on that for yourself. And then your world, like this is the glass man's world right here. So my world is basically simply learning how to bring heaven down to earth and try not to allow all the negative, all the bad and stuff that's going on in this world to affect me and my soul and my energy. Like I can watch stuff that's quite horrific and things, and I understand because I understand human nature. I understand that everyone's going through their path, and they've all gotten lost in this way, right? And so there's so many people who are doing things for this and that. A lot of times it's all because of that money, right? The money is the root of all evil. Well, the love for money is the root of all evil. When people put everything in front of, they put their devotional energy, their time and stuff into money, and that becomes their end all be all, and that's not such a good thing, because then you have individuals who become corporate, CEOs of this and that and stuff, and they are the ones who are actually creating the global warming and all this stuff, and then trying to blame it on us or on cow parts or whatever. Like, okay, all right, even though you're over there dumping all of your toxic waste into the ocean, into the rivers, and you don't ever clean it up, you simply just get slapped with a fine, right? Smack my hand again, mommy. Like all these companies and corporations getting away with it as they're trying to point the finger and say that it's us and we're doing it. There's an article that came out, yesterday, the day before, that said that humans breathing could be a huge factor in global warming. It's like, oh, so what? Because we're breathing, we're like, like breathing out the air, we're warming it up. And let's not forget that it's called global boiling now. We've reached the state of global boiling, guys. It's no longer global warming, we're in global boiling. We made it to a whole other state because the oceans are now reaching boiling point. So some individuals, some media outlets have claimed it as global boiling, right? It's no longer global warming. Now it's to the point where, whoa, we're not warming things up anymore. We're not boiling it. It's getting hot in here. So yeah, there's a lot of bad people in this world. And Santa's watching, and they're not going to get any presents this year. If anything, those of us who are living in the right way, in the right path for God, can have that peace of mind, right, and knowing we are living right. We're not like those elite, those individuals who are trying to take out the whole population, having issues with population control and things like that. It's so interesting, We have so many different worlds, right? This is the Glassman's world. So you guys have entered my world, but I don't know what's going on in your world as you're watching my world. So there's a whole nother world going on your side over there. And until you guys actually comment and say what's going on, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I like to talk about all kinds of crazy things, guys. I love to be able to open up your minds and to be able to just think and ask questions yourself. Why is all that information removed? And why are they keeping it hidden from us for so long? And will it ever be revealed to us? Ever. 56 miles of sacred text and knowledge and books hidden underneath the Vatican. 56 miles. 1 mile would be like way more than I could ever read, ever. Like one bookshelf is more than I could ever read in my whole life, right? It's pretty crazy because it's true. Not even lying. I don't read much, guys. It puts me to sleep. Reading does something to me where it puts me to sleep. Except I can sit here all day and read little tiny bits of information that comes through and all kinds of little things like that, like news reports and all these things. I can read those all day. But getting into a book, especially something that's fiction, I ain't got time for that. I don't know why, but I don't have time for it. My mind doesn't give me that ability to read it. Start falling asleep. Weird. Okay, these are going to come together a little bit quicker now every time. Hopefully we don't run out of oxygen or propane. Oh, so I guess the Christmas music is over. I don't know how much longer we're going to continue going. I won't have enough time to make all 5 of these on the camera, I don't believe. Because I know that on YouTube, well, I don't know how long we can go on YouTube. I've never timed out YouTube. But on Facebook, I know we can only go for 4 hours, and then it shuts it down all on its own. So maybe we'll do that. We haven't done 4 hours in a long time. It's not like anyone's going to ever watch this again. No one cares about this knowledge and information, so it doesn't matter to me. Like, whatever. I'm just going to continue on speaking about God all the time, every day. Every day, every day. And none of this information is going to change because it comes straight from the Vedas. And the Vedas have never been changed. And philosophers all around the world this day accept the knowledge and information in the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita as is. There's no denying it. A lot of different scholars and philosophers. But then ordinary man, you know, just because they're followers and worshipers of Lord Jesus Christ, they don't want to ever hear this. Never. Because they don't want, like, what if it's true? What's that going to do to them and their beliefs and everything and that they put their whole faith in for their whole life? What's that going to do to them? It's going to rock their boat so much. But without truth, what is there? It's all lies. And without absolute truth, what is there? It's all spiritual lies. Man, it's getting hot in here. Let's see what it's doing. It's probably way too hot. What was that? 1124. That's way hot. Alright, so after this one, we only got 3 more to go. And I just hope that we have enough oxygen and propane because I won't be able to get any more until after the weekend. Well, if I could get a ride somehow today, last minute somehow, but I don't see that happening. All right. So, back to Christmas. This year, we got kitties. We have to put our tree up on a wall. We only use a little tiny tree, like, I don't know, 2 feet tall or something like that. And I hang it up on the wall. So they can't get to it. If we had a full-size tree, I think they'd be climbing up and down it and knocking it down every morning. Like, I'd have to weight it down with, like, a tire, right? But then if it's weighted down, then that's going to guarantee they're going to be going up and down and up and down. Like, ooh, a tree inside. Nice. They're just going to love it. So we're just going to use a little tree this year. We got a bunch of decorations out. As you can see, I got some Christmas lights out right behind us here. Our music ended. I guess we could just replay the whole entire list again. Okay, let's get this purple on here. These are looking so much better now that I've done it in 3s instead of 4s. That 4 was way too much. Yeah, this looks cool. I'm doing a Christmas dinner, but I'm not sure what we're doing. I know my daughter was mentioning lasagna recently. I'm like, well, I haven't made lasagna in a really long time. I'll probably do that. But not everyone in the family here can do wheat noodles, gluten noodles, and cheese. And I'm definitely not going to make a lasagna that doesn't have proper cheese and stuff. I don't want to make it dairy free and gluten free. Although I can and I have, I just don't want to. But maybe I can do one on the side for my wife and our son. All right. And I would really love to make something else in between this to change up the video and everything a little bit, but I have to get these done. I oxygen and propane to mess around making something else right now. And I really want to make sure these get done for the person who ordered them. He could be watching right now. Okay. I'm debating if I want to add any lines. I think what I did before, adding those divots really worked out nicely. But I'm going to try something. Hey, Boogie, good morning. Huh? Hold on. What'd you say? Supposed to be on this day? Christmas is not today. Not yet. You're so excited, huh? You're so ready for Christmas, huh? Very soon. I'm just making last minute Christmas gifts, so I dressed up in Christmas stuff. But it's not Christmas yet, not till Sunday, then we have Christmas Eve. And then we'll have Christmas dinner, which is what I was talking about. I don't know what we're going to have for Christmas dinner. We got to find out what you and Mama want for Christmas dinner. You want peanut butter and bananas? That'd be good for you? Peanut butter and bananas, huh? Well, I'm going to work for a little while. I'll be out in a sec. All right, hopefully Mama's up or getting up with him so I can continue working because I don't want to stop now. I got 3 more to make. I think I hear her. So. Good. Right, so we're going to melt these down real quick. And then I'm going to try to add the lines into it. I did a little extra work right there. I added some clear glass in between the plum so I can try to add more line work. I really wish I had a knife. Actually, excuse me, don't I have one up here? And I just put, yeah, look at that. Okay. Nice. Now we're going to be able to get real detailed line work in here. All right. So I don't know if there's anyone else watching here, but how you guys doing? What are you guys doing for Christmas dinner? So we might do some lasagna. You know what I would love to do is have some green chili stew or some tamales. I would actually just love tamales. Tamales and some red chile enchiladas. I have that and I'd be good to go. You know, because that reminds me of my family and going to Christmas for my family. You know, one other memory that I remember here in Albuquerque was always going to my aunt and my uncle's house for Christmas. And to this day, I believe that they still celebrate over at my aunt's house. Our uncle passed away. And their daughter ended up actually taking on the tradition. And we would do the white elephant over at their place all the time. I remember one year, I was having fun with them all. You know, there was like 3 of us, right? 3 or 4 of us. Because it was me, my child, whoever I was with at the time, my girlfriend at the time. And when we were there, you know, we have to bring one item per person if you want to participate. And so how it works is that everyone brings a gift that's not written out specifically to any one person, any one specific person. You just wrap up a gift. It's a secret gift that you then put under the Christmas tree. And then everyone gathers around. And everyone who put a gift under the tree, you then get counted, right? So if there's 20 of you, then you have a piece of paper with the numbers 1 through 20, and you put it in a hat, right? At least this is how we do it. You know, some people just do it in a circle. Like they know you're going to be the last person, that's the first person, and you just follow in the whole circle, right? But for us, we all pick out numbers, and no one knows whose number is whose, which is cool, right? And then then you go, okay, who's got number one? The first person goes up and they get to pick their gift, right? So they get to open one gift and see what it is. The first person has to keep that gift, right? Then the second person, number two, goes and they either steal that gift because they really like it, right? So they can either take that gift from the first person or they open up another gift, right? So if they open up another gift, then you got two gifts out. But then number three can either take one of those two gifts or pick a third gift, right? And if everyone opens a gift and no one ever starts taking it, then the fun of White Elephant is kind of just lost, and everyone gets a gift and everyone's happy, right? But if you have someone taking a gift, right? Like let's say number three, then decides, oh, I want number one's gift, right? So then number two and number three got a gift, and number one has no gift, so then number one gets to choose another gift, right? So number three has one gift that's been taken one time, and you're allowed to take a gift up to, I think, 3 times. On the third time, it's lost. So someone can take that gift again for a second time, and one last time. And that's at least how our family does it. And we go through, and it's so fun. So that year, when I was there, we had, 3 or 4 people with our group, and I decided I was going to bring a gag gift. So I brought puppy pee pads, which are these little absorbent pads you put on the floor to train your puppies how to like pee on the floor, I guess. Like you want to train them how to pee on the floor. I don't know. There's these puppy pee pads, and I bought them, and I gift wrapped them. And so, once anyone got those, it was like, no, I don't want that. Please steal it. And someone would get stuck with it, right? And it was just so much fun. But then my cousin said, no more gag gifts. I'm like, wait, what? Like, that's the fun part of it. You're taking the fun out of it. I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun doing that. Oh my gosh, I might be doing a little bit too much work now for this. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this with all of them. And now I'm trying to line it up with the colors. And the center. I don't know, that might work. Maybe I'll do the purple first and then go in between all those. Yeah, that makes sense. So what I'm doing is I'm indenting right next to the where the color line is and where the clear line is. And it's going to create like a really nice balloon effect on this. So yeah, man, that pea gift was fun. And then at the end of it all, I didn't care about getting a gift. It was all about the fun of it, right? So then at the end of it all, I then had one last gift in my pocket, which was a hand-blown like necklace of some sort, or maybe it was a Christmas ornament, because everyone wanted a Christmas ornament when I made them. And so I took the pea pads back for myself, and I gifted the person who had it like an extra gift that was, something special. So they got whatever I had, the gift, and then they also got a special gift. And it was all fun, right? But then I was told the next year, no more gag gifts. Like, why not? That takes the fun out of it. It was so fun. I enjoyed my time immensely. Because everyone was worried about getting it. I don't want it. And then you get stuck with it like, man, I don't want this. No one's going to take it from me. Like, please take it. They're all pleading with everyone. Please, you have new puppies. Take it. You have new puppies. I don't know if you guys played the white elephant, but we're going to go to a friend's tomorrow. So this year we're doing another white elephant. And I haven't been told no gag gifts. But I don't know. We'll probably just keep it straight. And there's not too many. It's not my family. It's, you know, friends and friends of friends. And I don't want anyone to get hurt or upset or anything. But here, you get nothing but a box of broken candy canes. That'd be good, right? With the thing of hot cocoa. Then you can just put all your crushed candy canes in your cocoa. Like it's a gag gift, but not really. Who would want that? I would. Okay. I think we're going to leave it like that. Okay, so what I was doing, I was adding all those indentins in there. So then, you know, when I round it up, then it looks like a balloon. So yeah, I don't even know what we're going to do for tomorrow's elephant, white elephant. I've been so focused on the family and making sure that everyone had everything. I'm like, wait, now we need 4 more gifts. Which, you know, I can always package any of this stuff, right? Anything that I make. Everyone loves them. Maybe that's what it is. Everyone will get a Gardenia glass and we'll just package them all up. So that way, I don't know how many people. Oh, wow, okay. You know what? I'm going to have to do this now because I see on some of these I already did the double line in the center. Now I have to go through this whole thing again. On the clears, and divide the clear into 2 strips because the balloon looks like that. Yep. By doing this, I added so much more time and work into this. But this makes it truly authentic now. Being able to get each one of those lines like this. Ooh, man, that's some serious detail. There's only 6 of them. It won't take too long. But each one you got to heat it up just the same amount of time. And then you got to get your tool down there. Good morning.
The people are coming in like 15 minutes.
The people. Oh, right. You got a ride for your appointment today. At 1?
That's 12:30.
Your appointment's at 12:30. Oh, right. Okay. So it's a lot sooner than I was thinking. How soon? 30 minutes?
No, that's 15 minutes.
Okay, in 15 minutes we're coming to get you.
15 to 10, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, you guys, that means that I'm probably going to be jumping off of here. Oh, I need to make 3 more though. And then I gotta let her know. So cool. If her appointment's at 12:30, she might be able to get back in time quick enough that we can all go to go see Santa, guys. Santa's over at the Sun Court today in Albuquerque, New Mexico, from 1 till 3, I believe. They're giving a little goodie baggies for every child to visit with Santa. So we're gonna go see if we can catch him today. That would be so cool. Okay, so this is number 2. These take a long time, guys. You know, very soon the price is going to be going up to probably $100 a piece on these. You know, right now they're $40. And then I do a really awesome deal on them when you order more than one. You get several at a time. And I really do an amazing deal for people, and it's kind of hard to do that. I'm realizing like, it takes some time on some of these. I don't know if I can always bring down the price as low as I do for some of these. But once I quote you, I'm not going to bring it up. But if you feel like I've put in more time and energy and effort into them, and you want to give me a tip, I'm never going to say no to a tip. But I'm definitely not going to charge you more if I've given you a price already. That's why I don't like to give prices on new items. People ask me, how much do you think it'll cost to make an elephant with a monkey on its head? I'm like, I've never made anything like that before. Like, I have no idea until I make it. But then, you know, like maybe we should put some money towards it first. But I usually don't make anything, and people just ask me, hey, you think you can just make this? Like, yeah, I can make that. Are you going to pay me for it? I'm waiting. People always ask all the time if I can make this and make that. I'm like, yeah, sure. Probably could. Oh, you want to order it? Oh, I see. That's different. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Put some money down. That way I know flake out on me when you see it. Like, you know, I don't really want it now. Like, wait, what? Like, no one else wants it. It's a custom order. All right, well, I guess my day is done here, which dictates me not being able to do a full-on 4 hours. I'm going to keep you guys here for 4 hours on Facebook. So am I going to get 3 more of these done today? Because I have to actually start getting ready if we're going to go do this other thing. My wife is about to leave. She said 15 minutes, which now is 10 minutes, which I really seriously only got like 5 minutes probably to hang out with her. I smell waffles. That's one good thing is if I can't cook right away, there's always things like that. Waffles, bananas, fruit, different things. So close to being done here. I don't know if all that detailing was really, I mean, yeah, it kind of made it cool, but I don't think it's necessary. Right, we pull this off, and we pull everything down on the bottom. get rid of all that extra color and stuff. And then we color code it on the bottom with the plum to represent the skirting or the scoop of the balloon. There's a piece of fabric or material underneath the balloon where the burner is, and it's actually it's a non-flammable, like fire retardant, fireproof basically, material or fabric that's what's closest to the burner. So if you ever look at a hot air balloon, you'll notice on the very bottom of it, the color of the scoop might be slightly different from everything else. And you know, it's because sometimes they choose a color for the balloon that they don't have in a non-flammable material, so you can't get it to be 100% accurate. So you just get the best you can. Like, oh, that's a navy blue. Well, that's a dark blue. Like, all right, well, that works. And that's kind of what I have to deal with, right? Sometimes I have colors that work, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes I gotta try to mimic them and make them as close as I possibly can. Like this one here, I'm making that pink. You know, I can make a video just on how to make colors and mixing different colors to make a certain color come out. I work with different color mixtures like this, so I think my 28 years of expertise blowing glass, I could probably show a lot of individuals some cool tricks. Alright, so then we add the skirting there on the bottom. We're going to melt it all into the balloon, make sure it's all one. And then we'll pull it. That way it all becomes all one and pulled this way. So the balloon's all tapered into the scoop or the skirting there. So just melt it all down. And we grab it right here. Hopefully I got enough time to hang out with my wife before she has to go. And then pull off this scoop. And that's all just excess glass right there. And then after the scoop, after that's been pulled and tapered down, we add a little clear glass. Here, I'm going to use this here. Use a little clear glass. To go in between where the scoop is and the gondola. So then it looks like the basket is just floating away from everything. There's nothing really holding it. And that's what's crazy is the basket's actually barely being held by a couple carabiners and some either metal cables or rope. And that's what holds it all together, guys. Crazy. You want to get in a balloon sometime soon? We're going to add a little bit more clear glass. Kind of went away. Alright, that's good. Then we got that little clear glass there. And then we'll add a little dot for the basket. Boom. And just like that, we got a basket on there. Melt it all together. Make sure everything is connected to clear glass, connected to the skirting, connected to the balloon. That all becomes one piece there. And then you got yourself a beautiful hot air balloon. Wait for that to solidify so we don't mash it. As we grab it, we'll snap this off to clean up the loop. I'm going to drop this in the kiln. And we're done for the day for now, guys. Let me try to show you how this came out, how this looks. And the colors aren't going to be identical because some of the colors are really warm. But there you can see. All right, there's Tom Fancy. All right, there's 2 of them. I got 3 more to go. Let's see where the kiln's at. I think I brought it down. Yeah, we're going to bring it back up. But you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dan the Glass Man. You guys have a Merry Christmas. Remember, keep it jolly as F. Jolly and festive. All right, love and blessings. Woo. It's hot in here.